Well, hi everyone. It's good to see you. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you've been with Will for years or decades, we're really glad that you're here. Before we dive in, I would love to ground us in a question, check-in question. It is Women's History Month. And to kind of ground us in the history that we all have here, especially the long history of WILF, I have a question that I really love asking WILF women or just people in general. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, so in the chat right now, I'd love for you to answer the question, who is the woman in your life who helped you become an activist? Or how do you know that this work was something you wanted to dive into? It could be someone too who introduced you to activism. It could be someone who is historical or even someone you've never met, but someone who has shaped how you show up in this world. So in the chat, answer your question, put your name, and branch affiliate. So you can do your branch affiliate, or you could write too where you're calling from, what city. I'll put mine in the chat too.
Oh, what did I do? Sorry.
Mm, I love reading this. This is my favorite things. And if it's okay too, I'm gonna read some of these out loud. I'll say for me, my great grandma, although she was someone I never met, I heard that she was an incredible activist who was also taking care of the home and the house, like, and raising kids and still on the streets. That's crazy. I was like, whoa, that's a lot of work. So I definitely think of her when I'm thinking about how I show up in the world. And I see a lot of moms who've brought folks into the work. That makes me really happy. Um, and some new names I've never heard of. Thank you for sharing, Nancy. I don't know who Sandra is, but I'm gonna have to look into this. I want to read that. Um, and I love folks to bring in some lovely people who brought you into this work. Oh, Robin Lloyd of the Burlington, Vermont branch, an icon, like all of you ladies here, everyone here. Um, oh, I love that.
Oh my gosh, Barbara, my mom dropped out of college and went to work for Wilf in 1936. Oh my word.
Yeah, there's some wonderful stories here. Absolutely wonderful stories. Wow. Thank you all so, so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. And please keep sharing because I'd love to hear who are those folks who got us involved in this work. And I'm going to grab my charger really quickly because I realized it wasn't plugged in. Here we go. Okay, we're all good. All right. So thank you all so, so much. And I'm going to keep looking at these throughout our time together. So I also want to say that for folks who don't know, or maybe it's their first time being here, I'd like to invite all of our new members to come and join us in this work for our all member meetings that are open to everyone. Um, we have a referral system here for folks who bring new people into WILF. And for referrals, we still have prizes that we give out. I'm hoping to get out another batch of prizes to more people this week. I owe a couple to the Tucson branch that I'll bring down to Debbie next weekend when I go to Tucson. I'm currently based in Phoenix, just so you know if you didn't know. So I want to reiterate that there's still some prizes for folks if anyone's interested in doing that. But I'm going to come back to membership in a moment for another part of our time together. So I'll come back to this. Um, and also, the more people you recruit to Wolf, more people you bring in, we have prizes as well that fit for all the work that you do. So, naming that quickly because there's just so much more things to talk about today. And for new members too that come in, we really want this space to be, what's the word? You're learning about some of the long-term Wolf work that we plan on doing for the rest of the year. And then we have our long-standing Wolf members who are going to be able to kind of get reintegrated back into it, feel like they're at home base here. So, a lot to talk about. I'm super, super excited. So, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So, we're kicking off something different today. And to kick us off with that, what's been happening across the organization, I'm going to pass the microphone over to our lovely Linda. And Linda's going to share some Wilf wins right now.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see members that I met when I first came on board a year ago, members I've met recently, and some of our newest members that have joined. It really just warms my heart to know that we're all together in community. So thank you for coming together tonight. Um, we have made enormous strides at WILF over the past few months, and it's because of all of you. And I wanted to share in some of our wins because I want you to really feel and know that you are an integral part of building this feminist peace movement, rebuilding, sorry. We have a 110-year legacy. So many of you have done so much work before us to lift us. And in this time that we're in, this moment we're in, where so much is happening that is tiring us and bringing us down, Wilf is revitalizing, creating new pathways and opening new doors for so many new people who are looking for a home for their activism. And so many people we know, or that I know, they're hitting the streets like they never did before, and they're finding a home in Wilf to drive change. And I want you to know that you're part of that. You created the legacy and we're building on it. And so, with that, if we can advance to the next slide, I'm just going to go over a few of the wins that we've achieved together over the past sort of few months. Because you don't get to see the notifications I see every day. Um, it makes me feel determined, and I hope that after I share some of these wins, you will feel equally determined and sharing in the strength that we're growing together. This quote is from a new WILF member that I met in New York 2 weeks ago. She attended a side event that I convened at the commission to the Commission on the Status of Women, and she joined us immediately after the event. And she said to me, "The idea of finding a home for my activism really resonated with me, and Will feels like such a good fit." And she's a social worker, so she loved that Jane Addams was a social worker too. I want you to know that over the past 3 months, we welcomed 60 new members across the country into WILF, not
Wow.
16. Not 16. If everybody else can mute, that would be great. So not 16, but 60. So why that's important is the more our movement grows, the more our power to act grows. And we're doing really great things together. If we can advance to the next slide, Shelby. Um, One of the things many of you were involved with all throughout last year, which we've been implementing this year, is re-envisioning WILF. I know that it took a lot of courage for us to ask ourselves after 110 years, how do we need to show up? Do we need to show up differently? And if so, how? And what does that look like? And how do we welcome more people into our community, treasure our legacy, and make space for new leaders and new ideas and new activism? And so, this is sort of our visual identity reborn, but it represents so much more of the way we're showing up, anchored in our legacy and our history and our knowledge, and in new ways together, welcoming new people. I remember some of you said things like, "Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. It's like we're liberated. The dove is in flight and we're in motion, and we got rid of, the gender symbol and all the things because gender means so much more than sort of the symbols of the past." Um, this is going to set the tone for the new website I'm going to walk you through later in this session, because some of you have been asking for a bit of a deep dive into our new website. But if we can advance the slide, Shelby, I just want to say thank you to all of you for helping us co-create this new visual identity and our new ethos and leading into sort of the values that we've clearly defined together throughout this re-envisioning process. One of the wins we've had is we're launching new campaigns. Many of you have been leveraging the Peace and Peace is Not campaign that we launched last year and then launched with new materials this year. Um, Here are just a couple of examples. Shelby's going to show you later where to go online to access these. We have a whole suite of something like 15, 20 graphics for you to use when you're tabling in communities, when you're marching in the streets, when you're hanging out with your friends that want to mobilize. Bring these with you if you'd like. We've created tools for you across all of our focus areas, from earth and climate justice to human rights and ICE accountability to, no sanctions, that they're available to you. And thank you for adopting them and using them to show up as one voice across the country. If we can go to the next slide, another one of our wins is one of the things we all agreed we wanted to do last year when we were re-envisioning WILF was lean into our cross-generational power building. This is an incredible niche that WILF holds and retains that I believe no other organization has. We have decades of seasoned organizers in our WILF community, and we also have emerging new young organizing voices. And together, when we show up, share our skills, our knowledge, we build cross-generational power. And we brought that physically to life when we launched the School of Peace and Freedom on March 1st, this quarterly national virtual teach-in, which Shelby is going to tell you a little bit more later about. But this is one of these new initiatives that we piloted this year based on the feedback we received through our re-envisioning process, based on hearing what new folks said they wanted from us. And it was a hit. So we're going to do more of it. And again, Shelby will tell you a little bit about that later. Thank you to everyone who came and participated in this beautiful national virtual teach-in. If I can go to the next slide, Shelby, another one of our wins is we just recently launched another new pilot program called Crafting Justice. There is this burgeoning craftivism, artivism movement, and we want to be a home for the craftivists and artivists and creatives that are out there. So we partnered with a wonderful nonprofit called City of Asylum Detroit, which provides artists in exile with fellowships and support so they can continue to do their art. And so in particular, we are partnering with a wonderful artist named Tema, whose original home is in Gaza. That's her homeland. She's living in Oman right now in exile, but we're partnering with her to co-create with some of you, if you sign up to participate, with people from across the country, this memorial quilt for Gaza. And the reception we've received on this is incredibly positive. So I encourage you all, if you're a creative or you want to be a creative, if you're a craftivist and artivist, I encourage you to register for this project. No experience necessary. Registration deadline is April 11, and then on April 12, Tema will be doing a workshop in Zoom with everybody who registered. If they want to, it's optional. And she'll walk us through how to create a tile, either using some of the templates she's created, or just tips on how to build and design your own tile. All of these tiles are being mailed to City of Asylum in Detroit, and there they have a team of people who will assemble the quilt. They'll sew it all together, and it will then move from city to city in the U.S. As a way to express solidarity and raise awareness of what's still happening in Gaza, despite the fact that the headlines seem to have moved on right now. Very excited about this new pilot project and the new people it's welcoming into our community and the solidarity that this is driving. If we can move to the next slide, it might be coming to the close of this section. Yes. So those are some of our recent wins. All of those things you just saw, aside from the re-envisioning, that's been in the past 3 months. It's been a very busy 3 months. And I'm looking forward to lots more good things with all of you and co-creating these initiatives with you. And many of you, again, were so integral to making these happen, from being a guest lecturer, Judith, I see you at School of Peace and Freedom, to, helping us come up with the Crafting Justice program. For example, I want you to know the Detroit branch of WILF is partnering with Rotarians in Detroit to provide logistical support to that Crafting Justice program. So it really does take all of us coming together to co-create and mobilize together in new ways. And I'm just so excited that we're doing that together. So Shelby, back to you.
Hello, hello. Thank you so, so much, Linda. So much exciting momentum and exciting things happening right now. Oh, I see a hand up. Yes. Oh, here, Val, I'll ask you to unmute if that's okay. There we go.
Yeah, thank you, Linda, for that wonderful survey of these wonderful wins. Very exciting, especially the craft work. I'm curious though about the that poster about Iran, because I feel that it's a little bit ambiguous, and I'm wondering how it was solicited and so on, because where
Yeah.
it says free Iran from what, for whom? Yeah.
Well, so Val, what I'll say, I'll quickly get into it, and then if you want to dive into it more, I'm happy to chat offline because I don't want to, how do I say, sort of steamroll the agenda. This was very delicate, and I know your history and your cultural heritage, so thank you for bringing this up. And the grace, if you don't like it, then say it, and if you do, say that too. Um, it's funny, of all the topics we've tackled with pieces and pieces not, this was the toughest one because originally we had one of the Iranian flags and then the other Iranian flag. And when we were working on this and sort of talking to some of our WILF members, and next time, Val, I'll know to reach out to you. This was created, earlier this year. We recognized, oh, if it's this flag, it represents this regime. If it's this other flag, it represents this other regime. And, depending on who you are, you will have very different views on each regime. If it's this symbol from this movement, it will represent this. So this was not perfect by any means, but it was the most, how do I say, I'm not going for the word neutral, but it was a symbol that I guess we could all agree on.
But it's the words free Iran from whom?
Yeah, so again, it was we left it intentionally open to interpretation, depending on how you want to interpret it. And, I'm happy to have a deeper conversation with
Yeah,
you to revisit that.
yeah,
Yeah.
please. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, great.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy we can create a space where those kind of conversations can happen. And I know that we showed these wonderful or these flyers that folks can be able to bring with them to No Kings. That's what I'm about to get into right now, actually, is the No Kings event happening this Saturday. I don't know what everyone has planned, but I think a lot of folks are going to possibly get out there. You might have already received an alert about this event happening. On Saturday, March 28th, I'm hoping, and I know, including myself, we'll be mobilizing across the country for No Kings 3. This is a nationwide call to action to show that power belongs to the people and not to this current leadership or this current administration. So if you're wondering how to plug in locally, we've made it really easy, and not to say we, on the No Kings website, it's super, super easy to work with. We heard from folks last time that they wanted a little bit more help and support finding the areas next to them that they could plug into, finding the places that they could join. So I actually have my screen up and I'm going to walk through where folks can go to find that information. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Um,
You are sharing. Cool.
So I just shared my screen. Hopefully folks can actually see it. Let's see. Um,
Yes, we can see your screen.
oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So, I'm going to show y'all where to go. You're going to head over to attendees and find event. And when you click on that, it'll open up a new tab where you can find events next to you using the filters option here. This filters option allows you to pick events that, for example, are only virtual, events that particularly honor just two languages, but English and Spanish. And then also to the location. So you can either do your current location or you can just put in the word. I'm based in Phoenix for folks that don't know. You can just go ahead and apply the filter and you can find anything next to you. Um, this is super simple. I'm going to share a lot of these links that we go over in the chat. But even though No Kings is coming up, like we said before, we heard that folks wanted to see more options for anti-war graphics. So I'm going to show you what those look like right now. I'm going to share my screen again. Oh, and also, if you don't see anything in your area, you can send an email to your Wolf members because this could be your opportunity to start something. You could start your own event. You could get together, whatever that looks like for you. And now I know you're going to want to bring signs and materials with you for this. So I want to make sure that you all know where there are things you can find to go print out, or you can print them out in your own printer with our voices and our logo on it, all from the Pieces Not campaign. So I'm going to share my screen again. You've seen the graphics in here before, but like I mentioned prior, we heard that y'all wanted to see some graphics that were particularly talking about war and war anti-war graphics. So I'm going to share my screen again. This is all accessible on the website. And I will put in the link in the chat for that as well so that you can see where to go. But it's all accessible really on the website. It's one of the first pop-ups or kind of like parts of the website you'll see. So this is what we created. This can be printed out on 8.5 by 11. It's like a regular printed page. And you can take, like I've heard folks they take cardboard and they put it behind the picture so that they can stand up while you're outside. We have multiple colors as well that folks can use in some of the colors that are now part of like our re-envisioned Wilf. They're cute, in my opinion. So not only that, we still have the ones that you already asked for. Peace is not a deportation pipeline, and I know Linda showed some of them already. All of this material is accessible to you. One of my favorite parts, though, and this is something that I've talked to as to anyone who's interested in tabling. I know that the last No Kings event, we had a couple branches who were tabling in the community and were putting up signs like these, the pieces, not graphics. We created a way to get folks to come to your table with a new activity. I've used this activity twice and it's been really effective, particularly for high school students and all ages, actually. You can have folks describe and define what peace means to them. So they can define their definition themselves in different colors. And I should share some of them. I don't know if I've shared them before, but I really would love to show y'all what some people have thought up. I think that it's really fun. It's a great way to get folks to gravitate towards your table on No Kings. And it's something that can be very helpful. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment because I want to show y'all maybe some other graphics I think you might find fun of other people who filled out the pieces not thing too. Oh, Linda, go ahead. Were
No,
you
I
going
was just gonna say you're gonna show them because I hope you show my favorite.
Is it about cats?
Yes.
One thing I've noticed is that a lot of people love cats and they will put that pieces cats multiple times. I mean, everyone loves cats. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why. Now, I'll show you.
Uh,
Okay. So this was for a
Shel-
high school event.
Shelby, do you
Oh,
know that there are two people with their hands up?
yes, I see two people with their
Okay.
hands up. We're going to try to get through the agenda items so folks can get on because I know there's a lot of meetings tonight. So I'm going to
Yeah,
try my best
that's
to get
true.
through. I
Thank you.
know. Oh, no, no problem. So some of these options here are some of the response that a bunch of high school students gave me when I was at a community college Peace Action Day. And these were some of the responses that kiddos wrote out. It was, I thought, adorable. And of course, there were ones that were really applicable to the current world that we live in. And I highlighted all of them here. There's one as well that's acceptance, no war, and cats. I don't
I,
know.
I love that one.
I know. I don't know. People just really love cats. So, okay, I'm going to stop sharing now. And I know we're kind of getting tight on time. I want to answer people's questions, but if any questions that you have can be put in the chat, please put them in the chat and I will get to them. I can answer these two, and then we might have to move back to the program and then save all the other questions for the end. Cheryl, I saw your hand up.
Yes, mine isn't actually a question, it's a comment.
Yes.
So in my area, we have Mobilize, Indivisible, and the Women's March, all arranging No Kings. So I've never seen that No Kings website that you showed us 5 minutes ago. But in my area, you look for Indivisible, Mobilize, or the Women's March. The Women's March will have hundreds of events. So if you
Oh,
don't find something on your that No Kings 3 website, go and Google Mobilize No Kings 3, Indivisible No Kings 3, Women's March No Kings 3. Put those as your keywords, and you will find lots of things going on, probably within half a mile of you. Thank you.
that's amazing. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. I'm going to put that in we plan to send an e-alert out tomorrow with all the information that we talked about today there. I can hyperlink those other links within
Please
that.
find them. Yes, thank you.
Yes. George? Oh, I think you went on mute to on mute, so I'm going to ask you to unmute. There we go.
I have comments too, like Cheryl, but I'll be as brief as possible because it covers several things. 5051 is also a group pulling together No Kings. And for your placards or your 11 by 7 signs or 8 by 11, using the tube from gift wrapping is a good thing. It's cardboard, it's strong, you can lift it high, and if you have to, you can hit somebody over the head with it. It doesn't hurt, but they'll at least get out of the way. There are many No Kings things with only a couple of dozen people coming. So you can find one near you, even if they're not, 15,000 people that will be at the one I'm going to. The Poor People's Campaign in North Carolina, at least, are adding no war and no war on Iran to the list of demands. And so usually they don't necessarily have a speaker to talk about the importance of ending war, but you may find that your local Poor People's Campaign is also going to promote ending war. Okay, and that's it.
Thank you, George. I I I'm grateful you brought up 5051. Another great resource too. Thank you. And also about how to hang them up. I appreciate that. Okay. So, and with that, I'm going to pass it back to Linda to share a little bit more about one of the ongoing projects, Crafting Justice. I know you did a little bit of it too in the
Well,
beginning, so I
yeah,
know
actually, Shelby, I don't need to anymore. I was so
I
excited
thought
at the
so.
front end that I said it all. But the one thing I'll say is I'll share in the chat the link to the webpage for the initiative. And from there, you can register for the program. And after you register, you'll receive a toolkit on how to participate, where to mail your tile, how to sign up for the optional workshop with Tama and Zoom. I tell you, I can barely sew a button, but I'm doing this. Yeah. So there it is. It's in the chat. So back to you, Shelby.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm happy that you're starting to put things in the chat because then this leads me to putting the other link in the chat that I wanted to. When you go onto the website, there is the Pieces Not campaign. It's one of the first kind of like big blocks you can see on there. I'm putting that in the chat as well so that folks can go back to that and find all of the flyers and such that we touched on when I shared my screen. And with that, then I will head over to the next subject to get us caught up with all the things happening with Wilf. So I want to take a moment to zoom out and talk about something really important with y'all, which is our growth as a movement with Wilf. Um, I know that Linda touched upon it, but I think it's really incredible. Since the start of this year, we've welcomed dozens of new members to Wilf, people from across the country who are looking for a place to plug in, take action, and be in community with us. And I think that tells us that people are looking for a base, an activist home, and they're finding it here with Wilf, just like they have been with the almost more than 1,000 members we have around the country. So, and this isn't about numbers, it really isn't, but it's about people choosing to show up. And with all the options they have every single day, they're choosing to show up with us, choosing to show up with Wilf. I know that there are 5, 6, 10 different groups you could possibly be a part of that support the same values that we do or have the same values that we do, and yet you choose to spend time with us. And that's really, really wonderful. So I want to give a special shout out. One, I know we've said your name too many times, Judith McDaniel, but I'm going to say it again. I want to give a special shout out to Judith McDaniel, who brought in the most new members during our Valentine's recruitment drive last month. Woohoo! I also talked with all those members. I gave them all a phone call, and they had so many wonderful things to say. We all had so many wonderful things to say about you. So thank you for bringing folks into this Wolf home. And if you weren't there last month when we talked about this, we had a recruitment drive where we spread the message that love is collective power and organizing can be love as well, bringing people into Wilf, um, building a movement where our networks are shared and we're fighting for democracy and human rights while they're under attack. We're mobilizing all of those things we are trying to bring and show love through. So that was February. It was super awesome. And it was really great to have folks a part of it who were willing to share more about us with their network and more people in their lives. So and also, so many of you too invited other folks. So your friends, communities, I'm so grateful because that's how movements grow. So if you have brought someone here tonight or you've been thinking about who you could bring in, the ripple effect is real and we've grown so much over the past 2 months. I'm just so grateful. Okay. Speaking of shout outs as well, there are a list of new members that we received across the country. So I always like to shout out to some of the branches that have grown. We have 40 branches across the entire country for folks who don't know. And I have this list of who kind of came in between then. Um, we've grown not just in Tucson, but in Boston, in Iowa, Des Moines, in Fresno, California, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in Burlington, Vermont, Wisconsin, Madison, um, and also Los Angeles, San Jose, New York. So many different branches across the country we grew in, and Georgia. Oh my gosh, so many. So I'm so grateful that not only we had folks come in, but folks renewed as well. So, I also want to say, speaking of shout outs, you might have noticed that we launched a WILF member spotlight where every month we will celebrate different amazing activists and WILF members to inspire us on our WILF e-newsletter. Um, if you know anyone in WILF who you want to spotlight in our WILF member spotlight every month, you can do that. Okay. I'm putting in the chat. Okay. I think that I think people have some ideas of who they want to spotlight. And I just want to make sure folks know that it's open to anyone. This could be someone new that just joined. Like, for example, I think the first spotlight we did was for a wonderful activist in Tucson. Her name is Emily Ricketts. She is 91. I know Debbie would correct me. Debbie's shaking her head, so I think that's a yes. I think that's a yes. Okay. Like, for example, we have Emily Ricketts, who's 91, who has been a part of this movement for a long time. And then we also celebrated one of our young Wolf members as our next new member spotlight. Her name's Heather. She is a Woman, Money, and Democracy member, and is teaching members of Wolf about the importance of ranked choice voting, doing trainings on them across Wolf US. So we celebrate everybody. Okay. It's super fun. Also, it's just a great opportunity to shout out some of your members and other people in your community. Okay. This is the last thing, and then I'm done on movement growth. We're gonna talk about some other stuff too. Um, One of the ways that we're keeping this momentum going is through something called a Wolf Action Hour. And I'm supposed to share my screen. I'm sorry, I stopped sharing for some reason. Okay, let's go back. Where are we? Okay. So we got through um, all of this lovely stuff. It was great. We talked about crafting justice. Here we go. So we also are going to be launching a Wolf Action Hour. One of the things I've been hearing from a lot of people is that they want things to do during the day that are during working hours. I know it's later for our folks on the East Coast. It's getting even later for me as someone who's in Arizona. Um, so we want to find more opportunities for folks to get involved and plug in during their working hours, taking an hour away and being able to make some phone calls for us, phone banking. We're still trying to figure out everything that we could possibly do, but we're starting off this new idea. It's called a Wolf Action Hour. It's just a pilot. We tried to do it last month, but it was right before my wedding, y'all. And guess what? I got food poisoning. I got food poisoning 4 days before my wedding. It was crazy. Okay. I'm okay. Nobody asked, but I shared that with y'all that it was wild. So I couldn't do it. I couldn't do this Wolf Action Hour. So we had to go back to the drawing board and find another day. So here we are, trying to find something else to do. So right now I have a date tentative for Tuesday, April 7th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I'm going to share the link in the chat to get signed up. Um, and folks can come in. What we plan on doing is giving a call to folks in our community, seeing what interests them, and also too, if folks are interested as well. One of the things that we like to do is call other members, like get them involved, find other ways. Not everything we do is like recruitment or plugging people in, but it's just an opportunity for folks if they want to catch up with their old members. Like for some people on the call, your Wolf chairs who are or getting members together for meetings. It's an opportunity to do any work that you want with us. You could also come together and make your quilt for the Crafting Justice project. You could come together with us and work on anything. Honestly, to be honest, we're down for anything. So it's just an action hour for folks to get together and just be in community with each other for an hour during the working hours as well. Okay. Thank y'all so much for listening to that. I appreciate it. Oh, and I have some pictures. Oh my gosh. This was pictures from our Wolf Valentine's Month member recruitment drive. These were so cute. These were so cute. I love them. And also we have a pink Wolf logo and it fit perfectly because it was Valentine's Day. So anyway, if folks want that document, they can always ask for it and I can send it to them for anyone who didn't get to be a part of it. It's no worries. Okay. I'm going to go next. And then, all right, we also want to actually show folks our new website. So I think I'll hand it back to Linda.
Yeah, thanks, Shelby.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I want to say if we don't, in the world we live in these days, if you don't have a compelling, timely, responsive website, your organization doesn't exist. I hate to say that, but in this world we live in that is so web dependent, having a really vibrant, compelling, responsive, timely presence online is essential. And so I'm so excited that as part of the re-envisioning process, we built a new website. I want to give a shout out to all the folks that, maintained the website before. I recognize it was all your volunteer hours and that was like a lot of passion that went into that. And with the re-envisioning came an opportunity to also re-envision our online presence. I'm going to walk you through some of the key sections because some of you have been asking, where's this? Where's this? So again, this is just going to be a quick drive-through, so to speak. I encourage you to take some time to meander your way through the site. There's so much rich material. Please know that when we launched the new site, I can't believe it was it the end of February? A lot has happened in the past 3 months, good things. It was called what we're calling phase 1. And as time goes on, we'll continue to improve it and be responsive to our member needs and also our new people's needs, right? It's meant to be a place where members can find information and people new to WILF can also learn about WILF. So with that said, I'm going to share my screen and take you on a drive with me, a short drive to the new website. And remembering that this is a constant process of improvement and responding and providing to what the larger community needs when it comes to our online presence. So here we are. This is the new WILF website. I hope you've seen it. If you haven't, please visit wilfus.org. This is a virtual representation of all of the things we talked about during our re-envisioning. What are our values today? What's our superpower? How do we want to show up and welcome new people? And one of the top things that came up loud and clear from this very extensive re-envisioning process last year was that our feminist peace analysis is our superpower, one of our superpowers. And feminist peace analysis does not mean we're anti-men or excluding any group. It's the way we look at power and analyze it and work to shift it. And so what you're looking at right now is our new homepage, so that when someone new comes to our website, within 30 seconds, you know exactly who we are and what we stand for. There's no question, very clear messaging about who we are and what we stand for. And on the homepage, you know, we have an opportunity to feature sort of timely issues and news, and also key campaigns. So you'll always see on our homepage, what are the 2 campaigns we're featuring in the moment that's responsive to the needs of today. And then as you scroll through the homepage, there's a little bit more messaging about who we are and you know, why we're a community that wants to welcome you. And then of course, it features all of our news articles driven by our members. All of these articles you see are written by you, our members, when you submit them to the monthly newsletter that Emily Franco designs for us, designs for all of us. I'm not going to take you through every page because we don't have time, but I'm going to call it a few things. On our new website, you know, there's ways to donate, of course, because money makes the work happen. New members can join us. You can renew your membership here. We understood very clearly that one of our superpowers and special attributes is our history, right? Not many other organizations can say they've been mobilizing for 110 years. Not many other organizations have permanent status at the UN. So, you know, we make that very clear when we talk about who we are. And we talk about it, though, in terms of what we're doing today, as well as what we did 110 years ago. What we're doing today, and as well as what we did 110 years ago. Because the biggest question people ask when they come to WILF is, what are you doing right now? So, you know, we lean into our values. These are the values that we co-created as part of our re-envisioning process last year. An explanation of what feminist peace means to us. This was co-created through our focus groups last year. And then, you know, WILF through the years, this is our legacy. This is your legacy that you've created for us younger ones who are rising up too. So I know that was very important for WILF women to communicate. So I want you to know that's there. Your history, your story is there. The other section I'm going to show you, I'm only going to kind of zero in on a couple more sections, is the membership section. So here, this is the place for all the resources available to our members. Remember, this is phase 1. So we intentionally populated this with things we know you need now. And as time goes on, we'll continue to add to the membership resource page. We are a small but mighty team. Most of all of our contractors are part-time. So We do what we can in the time that they have each month, and what we can't, we hold until the next month, right? But anyway, so here, Shelby said, if you want our new logos, go to the membership page. You can download them here. You want more info about how to renew your membership? It's here. Are you a new person that wants to become a member? Hey, all the info you want is right here. And I feel like there should be a drum roll because loud and clear, the Wilf woman said, we want a calendar. So we have created a calendar, and after I stop sharing my screen, I will find the link and I'll put it in the chat. We also now have an online form you can fill in to submit an event if you want to put it in this Central National WILF calendar. So this calendar is meant for WILF members to submit WILF-led or events that WILF is co-leading. It could be a meeting, it could be a mobilization, it could be an activity. This is your calendar for you to populate. Again, for WILF members to populate. So I think that'll be very handy. I know there's meetings almost every day at WILF. So eventually over time, as our members learn about this calendar, they'll start to populate this, and we'll have a much better sort of like bird's eye view of everything that's happening at WILF. And so there's lots more in here about the member resources available to our members. I see a couple hands up, and I'm going to get to them in a minute. I just want to finish taking you on this sort of short drive through the website with me. Another section I want to call out is this Take Action section. And this is a centralized page where you can access all the ways you can get involved with WILF. Whether you're a member or maybe you're new and you want to just like check it out, what's going on. So, this shares our calendar, all of our unique pilot programs we're piloting, and of course, all of our focus areas that we work in, that our issue committees are driving the work in. We've heard many of you say, how can I get a shirt with the new WILF logo? So we're not ready yet. We will be. Sometime this year, we are looking for a solution, where we can work with a partner that provides like ethical sourcing, on-demand fulfillment, because we literally have 2 people in our administration office who are part-time, and they don't have the capacity to order these things, to inventorize them, all the things. So we're doing the research right now to find a partner that aligns with our values to sort of deliver on this, on what WILF members are asking for. And the final section I'll share with you before I stop sharing screen is the news section. This is where all of the stories that you write for our monthly newsletter, our Peace and Freedom magazine, everything, it's all here. So if you're ever looking for to reference an article, something you wrote, this is where you can find it. And I think for now, those are the highlights that I wanted to show you. I'm kind of moving quickly. Well, I'm moving very quickly, to be honest, because I know we're short for time. And of course, there's always, the branches page, which I'm happy to say is, as a movement, as we grow, I have faith that we'll have more groups. Remember, you can create a WILF group with 3 people or more, or a branch with 10 people or more. Okay, and I see 1, 2, 3 hands up. I will do my best to answer them quickly. So George, then Lois, then Robin, and I want to take this moment to call out, thank you, Robin, for making all of this re-envisioning possible through the Lloyd Family Legacy campaign. So George, what's your question?
No question. Just wanted folks to have a lookout on the branches list, and I'll add it to the calendar if I can. There'll be a webinar at the end of April 23rd, I believe. Women in conflict zones focused on the Middle East. There'll be women from Palestine, Lebanon, Iran, and Israel, I think. All the planning hasn't been done yet, but WILF is going to co-sponsor. Yay! All right, so that's all.
Thank you, George. And while you were saying that, I put in the chat a link to the form that people can use to submit an event to the calendar. Lois and then Robin. Oh, you're on mute, Lois. And by the way, it was lovely to meet you in person.
Yes, it was very nice to see you in New York. I'd like to note that during the first week of CSW, I met with Tina Shelton and Anna Des Moines. We had a really good exchange of ideas. I know there was a WILP event, but not a what you call parallel event that I'm aware of. And we feel that next year we should do another event on the Beijing peace train. It doesn't matter that it's Beijing plus 30 plus 1 plus 2. Robin, that was an archival film. And every time I send it out on the One Right Women's UN Report Network listserv, I get feedback from women of different ages, some who never saw it, and others who have tears in their eyes because they were there. A second point is I monitor WILP International. You know, I lived abroad for at least 10 years, and I sometimes am challenged to see the bridge between international and US. And the third thing is what happened to women in black?
Huh.
I don't know anything. I think Linda and I can go back to Women in Black. Linda, I know you're going to answer the question, but all these things we'll take back with us, all this feedback. So thank you, Lois.
Yes, that could be a good action point. Women in black.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And I know Robin's hand. Go ahead, Robin.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, it seems to me there's no flyer on the US website that we can print for No King's Day, or I was looking for it and I didn't see it. Maybe you can direct me to it.
No, it's there. Yeah, I can share my screen again really quickly. I have my big screen up, but so like when you go to wilfus.org, you will be here, like on the website. When you scroll down, right here is where you'll see pieces, pieces not campaign. It's one of the first things under where peace meets action. And when you click on that, then you'll be able to go over the campaign overview, the toolkit, and all of those flyers that you want to see, they'll be accessible through this part of the website.
Okay.
And also, just for easy reference, everyone, maybe Shelby's already done it. I just put it in the chat, the direct link to the Google Drive where all of those flyers sit.
But none of them say No King's Day.
Well, the
Oh,
one,
go
the
ahead,
one
Linda,
that
sorry.
says "Peace is not war" is meant for no kings. But you're
Well,
right, it doesn't say no kings, correct? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know it's 4:57 and I'm trying
Yeah.
to get folks out of here. So I'm gonna head into the next subject so I can let folks have the rest of their day. And I know folks haven't eaten dinner yet, I imagine. Well, I haven't, so I don't want to check. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen one more time. And you know what? Actually, the last part of this is just and yes, Joan, I see your question. Yes, they do have WILF on them. I'm going to share my screen one more time. I'm sorry about that.
I know that we're short for time, Shelby.
I
Maybe we
know.
can just mention the Megaphone Awards and then break because I feel
Yes,
like
I
we did
think
a
so. Thank you
good
so much.
recap.
I'm looking
Yeah.
for the presentation. You could start talking about it while I get to share it.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, the
Thank
other
you.
thing we wanted to mention um,
There we go.
is a new initiative that we are going to be piloting. We're starting to sort of put the research together, something called the WILP US Megaphone Awards. Kind of like our version of the Nobel. And this idea it came out of a number of discussions over the past few months about this desire to celebrate people who are activating, advocating, change making, and the genesis was all of this sort of fury last year when President Trump's name was being floated around the Peace Prize, the Nobel Prize, and sort of this juxtaposition around we need to recognize people in our local communities across the country who are doing things to lift us up. And also this feedback we've been receiving, especially from the younger folks, about how if they're supported, if they're recognized, it helps them, it emboldens them to do more at a time when they're feeling like their voices are being squashed on their campuses, etc. And also just this need to, we've talked a lot about building a culture of joy in WILP, a culture of care and creating moments of joy to keep us lifted as we do the hard work. So we are researching and sort of aim to test this concept called the Megaphone Awards, where we would invite calls for nominations within WILP and outside of WILP for a WILP US Megaphone Award. This is WILP wanting to, using its legacy, its history, its sort of positioning to lift up others. So just want to plant that seed that we're researching that. And I know we're at the hour, but if you can maybe say in the chat whether or not this is something that appeals to you, or visually, like thumbs up, thumbs medium, thumbs down. Just want to sort of temperature check it, if you will. Okay, I'm seeing some thumbs up. I'm seeing some hearts. Okay, I love it. Okay, so then with that sort of positive endorsement, we'll continue to research and move that forward. I want to give a thank you and shout out to Natalie, who's on the call right now, and Shelby, who are helping to sort of research and look into this a little deeper. So that's it, Shelby. That's all I've got.
Oh, thank you, Linda. All right. It's 5:01, so I'll just leave you with these two questions. We thought we would have enough time to do a breakout group or breakout rooms, and we did not have enough time, which can be good or bad, because I'm not always a big fan of breakout rooms. So for folks that are grateful that we never did those, you're welcome. I was thinking of you when we ran out of time.
I love breakout rooms.
Oh my gosh, of course you would, Linda. You are such a great person to talk to. I imagine you do such a stellar job in a breakout room. So we won't do a breakout room, but one of the two questions we were going to ask were two questions that we got from that we asked during the School of Peace and Freedom, which happened a couple weeks ago. We had a really wonderful conversation, and we asked three really brilliant change makers two questions, which was, how am I showing up right now? And what do I need to keep going? A couple of those things we're always trying to improve on, especially when it comes to keeping this work going, creating a culture of care, doing member meetings like this, creating projects for folks to plug into. All of those things are meant to keep us going and find ways to build community with one another. So I want to leave those two questions with you as you go to think about, and possibly send me an email and let me know what you think about them. I'd love to hear your answers for how are you showing up right now, especially if it's different. The way we're meeting the moment now is probably a lot different than it was a couple of years ago. So how are you changing? How are you evolving? And what are ways that WILF can support you on that journey and be a part of that with you? Those two questions are in the chat. Thank you all so much for being with us. I know there are a couple other meetings that are happening tonight because it's WILF and we just don't stop and we just don't sleep and we just don't eat and we just keep pushing forever. Just kidding. Sue's like, nope, I'm going to bed, y'all. Sue's like, I'm getting my 8 hours. Okay. You can't stop me. But for other folks that have other things to do tonight, thank you all so much for hopping on. Thank you all so much for spending an hour of your time with us. If anything sparked you tonight, like if anything sounds interesting that you want to just get right into, the Megaphone Awards, the Crafting Justice Project, any of those things, please let us know and we will get you equipped with all the information you need to be a part of it. And thank you all for your feedback. Thank you so much for everyone who raised their hand and spoke up and shared how they were feeling and wanted to let us know ways that we can better support you. That's really important to us. So thank you all so much. And I will see y'all later. Okay, bye. Get out of here. Sorry, I don't know why I screamed that. Okay, bye everyone. Thank you all so much. I appreciate y'all. Yes, I hope so too, Nancy. Bye, Debbie. I'll see you next week or 2 weeks from now for Tucson. I'll be at the next meeting. Bye, Ginger. Bye, Nancy. Bye, everyone. Okay, I'm going to stop recording. Okay.